Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be what I picked up on physical media in the month of March 2022. There's quite a lot of movies to get through here, so I'll just get straight into it and I'll give you my views on what I thought of the movies themselves. I have checked most of them out on my other TV, but my new TV I don't think I've checked out. I've checked out some of them but not all of them, and I'll take you through what I thought of them when I saw the picture quality. So first up I've got Mars Attacks. Now this is the one that I always struggled with in the past, and I do know I want to go and revisit it, and I've got this to do that. And it's one of the ones I saw. One of these are like CX buys, you know. Let's not talk about the stickers though. So yeah, so like really excited to get to watch this again, and also I checked it out and it looks absolutely stunning on Blu Ray. Some of these movies actually, I've been talking about this before. Some movies on Blu Ray do look really good, and this one's quite an old release, so I thought I wasn't expecting much from it, but it looked really nice. So that's Mars Attacks. Next up I got Judy. Now this is a great slipcover here. I did know I wanted to get this movie. I hadn't really seen it out in the wild. I think I saw it a couple of times in HMV. I would like to get a 4K of it because I saw it on Sky Movies on ultra high definition, and it looked absolutely amazing. But this one here, it does look very good itself, so I'm quite happy with it. I'm interested to see what it looks like in my new TV, actually, how it looks a bit upscaled in it. I've still got to take that sticker off. It's obviously come from a charity shop. This movie has an amazing performance from Renée Zellweger, and I'm happy that this glitter, or devil's dandruff as I call it, doesn't come off in the back of your hand. So that's Judy. Next I got Street Fighter. Now Street Fighter for me is a guilty pleasure. I remember not liking it that much when it came out. First of all, I think I was expecting it to be quite a serious movie, and as you know, with 80s and 90s movies, they can be really cheesy, and I didn't expect what I got from this movie, but I'm going to revisit it after a long time not seeing it, and I just want to see what this sort of offers as a person who now likes cheesy movies and has a lot of time for them. So that's going to be an interesting watch, and also with it coming from 88 films, it does look a really good transfer as well. So that's an interesting watch from all of these films I'm really interested in watching. Now with this moving my shelves around, I'm getting a little bit behind and watching some movies, but I know that every movie that I watch now on my new TV is like watching the movie for the first time. So I can't wait to get into a deep dive into this stuff, and also the stuff that are my favourite movies. So I'm interested to watch this again after all this time. That's Street Fighter. Next up I got for $4.99, I think it's still available for $4.99 in HMV, is Being Frank, the Chris Seavey story. Now Chris Seavey was the man who played Frank Sidebottom with his papier-mâché mask on. And the story on here tells the true story of the whole Frank Sidebottom character and how Chris Seavey went through bringing it to life. To be honest, it's a great kind of tragic tale as well. But strangely enough, Chris Seavey and Frank Sidebottom does have in his hometown, he does have a bronze statue made of him, believe it or not. So yeah, so this is, if you want something for a cheap, entertaining biopic of a music. Sometimes a lot of people don't remember Chris Seavey or Frank Sidebottom. Even if you're not a fan of his music, the story in here is quite exceptional. That's Being Frank. Next up on 4K I got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now I haven't checked this out on my new TV, but this looked really good on my other one, so I can imagine this to just look mind-blowing. But yeah, so very interested to see this fully. So when I get my shelves all sorted out and I get everything out on display, I can go back to these things and think, oh yeah, because there's a lot of things put here, there and everywhere. My collection's a bit all over the place at the moment. I can't wait to get them back in order, and that's when I'll be doing me. I'll do it probably on my shelves. I'll do a how I made the shelves video, and then I'll do a complete this is where I put everything video, I think. So there'll be a lot of things to come on in the future about the shelves, and maybe it might give you a few tips on how to make this quite cheaply, and it was really easy to put up. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. So that's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Next up on 4K I got Free Guy. Now I saw this on Sky Movies and it looked really bright and colourful. Now this one here, it looks really good. It says 4K crispy, but it didn't look as bright. Haven't checked it out yet. But the movie itself is just a real good movie. And yeah, 2 for £24. When I see all the movies I would like to get, I sometimes wait and hope that we'll go in the 2 for £24 sale in the shop in HMV, so I can just pounce them and just hoover up all these titles. That's where I spend probably most of my money on sort of regular 4Ks. The boutique 4Ks, that's a different story, but usually you've got to pay big money for them in order not to pay big money for them down the line. So that's Free Guy on 4K. Next, I got a heads up from my good friend Paul, aka 4K Chef, and he told me that this was for £5.99 on Amazon. So I said, yes, please. It is Pig. Now, weirdly enough, this is still available in HMV for £5.99. Haven't checked it out yet. In fact, I don't even know if I've checked the picture out in it yet. I probably have. But this is, to be honest, I've been that sort of focused on, well, there's been a lot of work going on. It's been very busy at work at the minute. But there's I am sort of like slowly getting into this TV. That's why the TV video is taking a bit more extra time, because I want to get into it and find out as much as I can about it, and then I can sort of give you my overview of it, not rather than just saying, I've got this TV, this is what it is, and I don't know anything about it. But unfortunately, with being at work, I don't have time to sort of sit down and go through the settings. But this was a welcome addition. I had heard a lot of good things about this, and I did walk past this a lot of times thinking I was going to pick it up in HMV in a sale. But I want to thanks to Paul, who gives me loads of great tips on his Instagram account, and I'm very grateful for that. It's very useful for movies in the future, that if you know it went down to $7.99 on 4K, it's probably going to go there in the future, so you can keep an eye on it. So that's Pig, and thanks again, Paul. Then I got from HMV Blood Dyna. I've heard great things about this movie, and the movie looks absolutely spectacular. It looks a lot better than I would have thought. I've heard a lot of people saying good things about it, and I do want to check it out. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of this in this video. I have checked out a couple of things on here, but not as much as I would want to. But really, at this moment, like I say, sound like a broken record, the shelves and the TV are kind of taking over everything. So movie watching, although I'm starting to watch quite a few 4Ks on this new telly, and what I want to do is, at the end of watching 10 4Ks that I haven't watched before, they're going to be ones that I've probably seen the movie before. I'm trying to go for versions, and maybe I haven't seen the film before. I'm going to go for these sort of 4Ks that I haven't really revisited or actually watched on 4K, and I'm going to put them in a ranking of the first 10 that I do. These are going to be sort of first time watches on 4K for me. So that may be an interesting video for people who want to sort of know what a good quality. And so I've been shocked by some of the qualities on some of the ones I've watched thus far. So Blood Dyna is highly recommended by everybody who's talked about it, and it's one of these Vestron label collector series, and I do rate they do tend to be a little bit expensive, but I do rate their stuff that they put out. Most of the things that they put out I do want to get my hands on in a sort of sale. About £12 would do me. So that's Blood Dyna. Next up is the classic She Freak. Now, got this one. I'm getting all of these AGFA titles. Where is it? There it is. And I'll get them as soon as they come out. I'll pick them up. I've had a great time with them. All the movies, apart from the first one, which was called Effects, was all right. It wasn't too bad. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it, because it did actually make sense in the end, and I did think this movie might have a bit more to it than I originally thought. I did fall asleep halfway through mine. That was just because I'd had, I was a bit too tired, not because the movie was that dull. But this one here is a stunning movie. It's got everything going for it. Ultra low budget, 1967, good year, and the picture quality in here is absolutely amazing, because these movies here, these AGFA movies, are usually awful quality, but I quite like that. I've said that before, and they look great on the shelf. I've got them all over there. I think there's about 6 of them thus far. There's another 2 coming out this month, which I'll be getting immediately. So highly recommended if you like a sort of low budget cult exploitation weird movies, then go for these movies, because I think you'll have a blast with them. So that's She Freak. Speaking of which, Zodiac Killer, or the Zodiac Killer I got next, and this is another one. It's got a movie on here, another Son of Sam, 1977 movie. This is about 1971 movie, I think. The picture quality in here is absolutely awful, but the packaging, actually, I know it sounds a bit daft, it's worth it for the packaging alone. They've just got I don't know, there's just something about them I just really enjoy, and I'm really interested to see what movies they bring out in the future. I know a couple that are coming out this month. I know a couple of people have mentioned other ones that will be coming out. I've looked on their website, and they've actually got a few lined up that look like they could be really good. Maybe they might get a couple of video nasties out. Here's hoping. You never know. So that's the Zodiac Killer. Next up is the Iguana with the Tongue of Fire. That's a hard one to remember. Got this from CX, and it was everything was in it. I like getting these ones for about £6. It's a no-brainer, actually. Even if it's not that good, you can just sell it again. And yeah, so the Giallo, I did put this on. It did look really nice. I mean, all the Arrow stuff usually looks 10 out of 10 quality, or the best they can get it. the best it was like available in. I don't think they cut corners. I don't think they ever have cut corners, if I'm honest. That's one of the things you can always say about Arrow. They'll always put out the best version that they can. Well, apart from if there's a 4K coming out of this, we'll know about that, more about that later on. As you can tell by the title, this is a Giallo. So if I see a Giallo, I'll always pick it up. I'll always give it a shot because I've seen some amazing Giallos throughout the years. So that's the Iguana with the Tongue of Fire. Try saying that after 10 pints. Next up on 4K, I got The King of New York. Now this is an Arrow release, and I was glad to get it for £15. This is a great one to pick up. It's still actually for £15 in HMV, so if you ever want it, get it, because it does look really nice. And it's also got Christopher Walken. It's actually got a stellar cast. Christopher Walken, Wesley Snipes, Steve Buscemi, and directed by Abel Ferrara. You know, what more could you want? King of New York. Next up I got for £10 in CEX, and there's a bit sticker damage on, but I think that was probably on from something else, but probably another CEX sticker, is a Razorhead. I got this because I have got it originally, but it's region locked to region A. This is a region B release. I'm pretty sure that they shouldn't have sold this for £10 because I think they were putting it out as a sort of regular Razorhead, which it isn't. But I was happy to get this, and yeah, the case is a little bit, but the actual disc and the insides looks absolutely spectacular. So I did put this on my new TV, and this looked sensational. It's always looked crisp on the Criterion, but this looks ultra crisp, and the black levels, because obviously you can put it on it sort of makes the black levels look a little bit better, like upgrades them slightly, I would imagine. This looked sensational, as I hoped it would do, because obviously I can't put my region A one on my 4K player because it's region locked. But yeah, wow, this is highly recommended anyway. I love this movie, and black and white in HDR, kind of with the HDR influence, shall we say, looks sensational. So that's a welcome addition to the channel that I can actually put on my 4K player. That's a Razorhead. Next up I got the Grand Budapest Hotel. This is an amazing movie. This is definitely my favourite Wes Anderson movie, although I haven't seen them all. And I did think this looks sensational on Netflix, and also it does when I put the Blu Ray on, because I was going to get the Criterion one, but it's a bit expensive. I know that the Criterion one's going to look spectacular because they do an amazing version of it. I do think that it's going to come out in 4K sometime, and I will pounce on it immediately. I just got this for a couple of quid, just having the collection if I ever wanted to watch it. I could do. And I just think that I'm just future-proofing myself for a 4K of this coming out in the future. But this is highly recommended. What a really good, visually stunning movie this is. It's one of those movies that kind of takes your breath away a bit about how good it looks on the screen. That's the Grand Budapest Hotel. Then I got DOA, which is a movie about the Sex Pistols. It's about the ill-fated tour of America in January 1978. They went over there to sort of break it big, and they actually did break it big. They broke up. Johnny Rotten, John Lydon, he sort of just took the pip. He just says, right, I've had enough. He walked off. Sid Vicious, I think he hung about in New York, and how did that work out for him? And Steve Jones and Paul Cook came back to the UK and finished off the kind of the end of the Sex Pistols, and obviously made a great rock and roll swindler movie. But this year, I've had this on tape from the TV, watched it loads of times, but I was so glad to get this on. I knew this was out, and I forgot all about it, and when it was in sale for £10, I thought, right, this is the time. It's obviously got a massive documentary on with this, which I can't wait to watch. Also, it does feature Terry and the Idiots, the band, and I was actually, when I got this movie, I thought, right, I'm going to find out whatever happened to Terry and the Idiots. Well, apparently they were got together for one gig for this show to sort of say this is like a sort of fledgling band, and they literally, that's what they did. They got together for one. They couldn't play, and everyone was chucking things at them and everything, and they got like a load of flack. But I think this Terry is still around. I think Terry and the Idiots did make a sort of they did do another tour in maybe about 5 years ago. Can you believe it? But anyway, it would have been great to see them. There's two songs they sing on here are absolutely awful. I think a 3-year-old wrote them. But anyway, so this is highly recommended, and it's actually a good print as well, because most of the stuff is from 70s, like a documentary and that, so it's not going to be stunning. But as a movie, it's quite a good movie actually. It's quite wild and all that, and this this documentary on here. I'm really interested to watch it. So that's DOA, or Dead on Arrival. Now I've got this one, the American Werewolf in London 4K. I have got the American Werewolf in London Blu Ray up there, exactly the same packaging. You get nothing extra in the way of packaging, but what you do get is, gladly, you get a stunning version of this movie on 4K. Now, some of the 4Ks I've had before have been a sort of an update, an upgrade, kind of. You know, it's been all right. You can see there's a bit of an improvement in it. Actually, to be honest, I need to go back to them and to look at them, like Deep Red and Bird of the Crystal Plumage and Cat and Nine Tails. I want to see how good they look actually on an upgrade. So, because I haven't looked at them on my new telly. But I actually watched this movie in full on my new TV, and I tell you what, the quality on here is absolutely sensational. Yeah, it's got some grain in it, but I don't mind that, because when you get the grain, you do get the clarity. I don't rank my movies at, you know, 5 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This movie is a 10 out of 10. And I'll probably only, if I ever rank movies by saying out of 10, I would just say movies that are 10 out of 10. This movie is just perfection for me. I can't say anything bad about it at all. It's just delivers on every level, and every time I watch it, I always have a great time with it. And I know everything that's going to come up. I've seen this film that many times, but I do think that Arrow have really reached the pinnacle of this movie. The actual colours in here just look incredible. The dark levels are well done, and the moors, you can kind of, it's as if the moonlight, obviously there is meant to be in moonlight, but it looks like really, like you can see the moonlight, if that makes any sense. You can see the fact that it looks as if you can see everything in the darkness, but in a moonlit fashion. If that, actually, I'm just talking myself and thinking, does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. But highly, highly recommended. Yeah, you get nothing. I think this will come down quite, because these are all starting to come down in price. This 4K, these box sets, and hopefully they don't go out of print. And you'll probably get this. I paid about $29 for it, which is all right. And I think that if you get this for £20, you want to definitely hoover it up. But the only problem is, if you want to go for like a Blu-ray, and because you haven't got 4K, this is only 4K in here, so do bear that in mind, that some of these 4K updates are only 4K, and you don't get like a Blu-ray substitute if you're looking to future-proof for the future. So that's, yeah, I can't recommend this movie highly enough, and for once, but I do think that Arrow just need to stop doing this now. You're releasing all these ones like twice, and you want to, you know, just get some ones out that we haven't had before. So that's American Werewolf in London on 4K. Now next up, I got some stuff off my good friend John Hall. He'll have seen the video when he came around, and he showed us what it was, and we went through these titles. Now there's another video with John Hall coming up. He brought some martial arts movies around, and it's got some really good martial arts in there, and we had a good chat about martial arts in general. And also, when you watch the video, you'll be amazed, like I was, about all the Chinese names that you knew from these movies. He just rattled them all off, and I was quite stunned actually. I knew he knew a lot about Asian cinema, but not as much as he was saying on this video. But I bet you probably think I bet you knows a lot more than what he's saying as well. So that video is coming down the line. I've got to cut it up in that, but that'll be coming out soon. And yeah, so John Hall, he gave me a Stir Crazy. This is one I've been after for a long time actually. It's one of those ones that hasn't been released very well in the UK. To be honest, I thought this was going to be quite... This is region A locked, by the way, definitely, because we tried it out. Now this one here is a bit one of those ones where you think, right, is it going to look that good on Blu-ray? Because some of these movies don't really sort of like look that good, but this looks sensational. So I would really like to see this come out in the UK. If it doesn't, imagine this coming out in 4K. It would look sensational, because the Blu-ray does look really nice. But it's one of the funniest films of all time for me. That's Stir Crazy. Now, as always, John Hall had some duplicates that you want to give me first refusal for, and I'll tell you what, I snapped his hands off with these ones. There's some amazing stuff here, and he gave us them at a great price. So first up, I got a Fistful of Dynamite. Now, this is the Eureka limited edition version, and I don't know how many this is limited to, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen this really to buy. And this is an amazing set. I mean, Eureka always do good sets. Some of the stuff I've got from Eureka are just like amazing, and especially the Buster Keaton ones. This one here, it looks, and I put this on my new TV. It does look really, really nice. It did look nice anyway on my TV, but the HDR sort of helps the TV's got HDR on it, and the colours just seem to just come to life on this TV. So that one's these are all on my list. I keep saying that. I'm like a broken record with that one as well, aren't I? TVs, high on my list, shelves. Anyway, those are all coming together, aren't they? So this movie is directed by Sergio Leone of Fistful of Dollars fame, and also it's got the soundtrack by Ennio Morricone. So, you know, come on, this has everything going for it. But it's more of a comedy than the Fistful of Dollars movies are. So that's Fistful of Dynamite. Next up is Too Beautiful to Die, and also a double bill with Nothing Underneath. Now I've checked these out on the new telly, and they look really nice. They do. This is from Vinegar Syndrome. This is one of those slip covers that's like, it's more than just a regular slip cover. It's got this sort of hard card about it, which is something I love. And this here, I've checked them out. Don't really know anything about them apart from they are giallos. But I was so pleased to get this one. I've been after one of these slipcovers forever, and I finally got one. This is just such a great thing to have in the collection, and can't get enough of them. I would love to collect them all, but I think that these are going for absolutely crazy money when they go out of print. I don't think this is out of print yet, but I don't think they stick around forever. But yeah, lovely edition. Can't wait to get this on the shelves. Can't wait to get these all on the shelves so I can see them all out instead of them being sort of stuck in the corner. They're not stuck in the corner anymore, they're actually on the shelf. But can't wait to see them all out in there, because I've got to strengthen this shelf up a little bit more. I can't wait to just look at them and say, oh yeah, that's that one, I'm going to watch that one. So that's Too Beautiful to Die with Nothing Underneath. Next up is a 4K of the Toolbox Murders. Now this is by Blue Underground, so you know it would look sensational. It is filmed on 16mm, so it's not the best of pictures, but for the fact of it being a 16mm movie, it does look sensational on that basis. The colours on here look absolutely brilliant. This was a previous Barn Video Nasty. You get a load of special features on there, brand new special features as well, which is great. You get Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. They're always on these 4Ks for some way they can get Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos on every single release they do in 4K, and it does tell me, because I can't wait to see Put Lights of Zombie on and the Final Countdown, because I want to see how good they could look. So that's another one that's I do collect all these ones. I just can't get enough of them. I think they're just spectacular releases. That's a Toolbox Murders. Next up is a monster edition, pun intended. It's Frankenstein, or Flesh for Frankenstein, or Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. This was directed by Paul Morrissey, and I don't know if he was drunk when he wrote the script, but wow, it's a laugh a minute, this movie. I've never seen anything like it. The effects are pretty decent actually. It's quite gory. It's not as gory, I think it's Dracula more gory, because obviously done a Frankenstein and Dracula back to back with the same actors. This the pack in here is just something you've never seen before. It's got these two amazing slipcovers on, and it does have reversible art in the actual the movies themselves. And this, for me, is one of the best things I've ever seen coming out of Vinegar Syndrome again. They just know how to put these things out. I would love to get the Beastmaster box set. God knows how much that would cost. Like I say, once these go out to print, you've had it. For getting them in a sense of, I mean, I think they're not going to be cheap when they come out, like when you buy them first time round. But the prices do go nuts when they go out of print. But this is highly recommended on every level. If you can get this box set, if you can get this edition, the 4K on here looks stunning. Actually, the 3D on here with the glasses, it does look quite good. Actually, it does really come out the telly. It does look a bit black and white, but I think if you want to do it just for a bit of a laugh with your friends, I think that'd be something quite good to watch. So that's Flesh for Frankenstein. So last and by no means least, I got Alligator of John Hall. This is one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen, actually, for a sort of a cult horror movie. This is the one that you thought, wow, would this come out in 4K? Do you hear these titles coming out of like movies and you think, Alligator, really? But they have done, I mean, it's Shout Factory or Scream Factory. It's the same company, really. They have done an outstanding job on this. It's a new 4K scan from the original camera negative with additional footage scanned from an into positive. So you probably get a little dip in quality when that happens. It'll probably be like the Go, I would imagine. But this, it looks sensational. It's one, like I say, it's one of the best 4Ks out there. I love it when, I think I get more of a buzz out of these type of movies when they come out. You can get some brand new 4Ks which do like blow you away, and that's great. But when you see a really old horror film or a really old sort of action movie that comes out that looks sensational, I think that's a bigger box tick for me. I'm all about that, and I just hope that I think these things are going to come out a lot more, because these things sell. So if they sell, then people are going to put more out. And Scream Factory, Shout Factory are doing some great jobs with their 4Ks. To be honest, the 4Ks I've seen from them, they do all look sensational. So thanks to John Ho for giving me a chance to own these sensational movies as well. So thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.